I noticed that there's some guys who take a lot of pride in their work, and they have it brand a large part of their identity, their personality, let's say. So, you've all heard of a vision board, for example, the finish line, the goal, some type of dream state, a fantasy, not a fantasy, but just a forthcoming wins and opportunities that should be accomplished when they illustrate the forefront, and they have to recalibrate their capacity, their movements, their strategies in order to accomplish whatever it is on their vision board. It could be a car, a nice house, it could be a family, and so on. Uh, but for those of us who get kind of a little knotted up in the head, in the brain space, and the emotions, I think sometimes, and even the working class, there's some people who work a lot, especially men who take pride in working a lot. They let the workaholic kind of stamina overtake their identity a little bit. And I think people sometimes they are afraid to get out of that working, always occupied lifestyle because it's a way to remedy their anxiety or sadness. So what I call is an alternative to remind yourself that, hey, you are a person with needs. It's okay to rest. It could be 20 minutes only. It could be 2 hours. It could be 2 weeks of the year. It could be 2 months of the year. And everyone's needs is very different. And it's an opportunity to remind yourself that you are a person of unique skill sets, of unique interests. And so what I call is an identity board. So with this identity board, this is more for yourself. Feel free to showcase to other people or friends or close ones. With the identity board, instead of a vision board, with identity, it's about kind of a self-reflection about, what hobbies are you good at? What hobbies do you love? What passions really engage all the positivity in you? And you could write out all the lists, all the things, practically everything that you like to do, and all the things that you love to do. And people as well. Who are the people that you really love? What are you good at? Skill sets. What's your academic background? If you take pride in your academic pursuits, what do you love? What are your interests? What places do you love to visit? What is your go-to type of vacation, a little getaway? And I think people need to treat themselves with more. That's the self-care. The self-care is not like, oh, I earned it. Get smashed at Buffalo Wild Wings, get smashed on liquor and this and that. That's not the true remedy in general, I think. That's kind of more of a escapism, and that's it's not good for your health. But sometimes there's some people who take a lot, maybe too much pride in their work. They distract themselves from bad emotions, from being sad or being angry, being confused, being confused. When I think there's some people who get lost in the work ethic. And you have to remind yourself that you are a person with different intentions when it comes to seeking peace for yourself, having a moment for yourself. So that's basically it. So that's the video for today. Create both a vision board and a identity board. Vision board could be, I want to be a man of faith. Identity board could be, I love that I am a man of faith. Once you have accomplished that vision board side, respectively, submitting yourself, opening your heart, your eyes, your mindset, your vocabulary, dissecting into what the words mean in the New Testament. Just an example. And with the identity board, after you accomplish that, it could be something as an additional that you scribble on the identity board. I love that I have, for example, Mass on Sunday. I love that I have these wonderful men for friends for Bible study or so. Just an example. because it's relating to like I have actually this upcoming Tuesday my first ever Bible study that I really want to pursue into learning. All men's group, no distractions, if you know what I mean. So, yeah, I'm kind of late to the game in terms of like many thinking avenues in my headspace. Maybe because I don't have too much responsibility versus the average man. I'm not a father. I don't handle a mortgage. But after kind of being celibate from or sober from a few things lately and thinking about certain emotions that overtake me sometimes and distract me, it's put finally my clear headedness, if that's a word, my clear thinking more onto things that kind of capture my conscience in a interesting way. Um, yeah, it's because nowadays society and women and children or so they expect us to, or us, it's us that expects ourselves to submit to the grind 24/7. Some do it, some handle it very well, but there's some others who, they got to pump the brakes a little bit. Forgive yourself. Anything for those guys, you got to be more forgiving, because sometimes the positive attribute of being maybe emotional, a little bit more emotional versus the average man. I think that's a good thing. That's fine. Don't knock yourself from participating in that. And hopefully you have a supportive girlfriend or wife that kind of enamors and soothes you when you have your moments. And everybody has the right to cry. Everybody has the right to think deeply about things. Everybody has the right to talk and level out conflicts in a well-mannered way, not only with other people but with themselves as well. And so yeah, so identity board is really an opportunity to self-reflect on your passions, your hobbies, what you're really good at. Write down qualities also that you're proud of yourself for having, that probably not a lot of men have. So that's kind of the positivity I have today. And I hope someone could relate to this thinking. You might have had this thinking a few times, maybe never had, and this is kind of a new concept. I'm going to go to sleep now. And I'll see you in the next video.